Welcome back. In this episode, we're going to cover level 6 of the Wright Developmental Model. The regressive pole is superiority, the progressive pole is authority, and the principle is responsibility. And once again, we have all the feelings present at this level. As we strive and achieve, we actually become more and more superior. We develop skills, and we start actually having competence in a lot of different areas. But can we then make the shift to really become an author of our life? So we truly become an author of our life, and we start taking responsibility, not only for our own life, but for our community and society. So as in level 3, when we talked about intention, authority is very similar. Are we really authoring our life? Are we taking responsibility for everything that happens, whether that's conscious or unconscious? Very difficult, but think about it. Who else is going to make changes in our life if not us? Once again, superiority being the regressive pole is not a negative thing. I mean, a lot of us work very hard and strive very hard to become great at things, to become superior. But how do we use these skills? Can we turn the corner to use these skills, all of the regressive poles, to become more of an author of our life and to take greater responsibility for ourselves, but also those around us and our whole world? That's where we're talking about responsibility. We all have superiority. I mean, think about, from my perspective, when I walk in a room, I measure everyone up. I oftentimes think about how I'm better than other people when I walk in that room. Why? Because of level 1 fear, level 2 hurt, level 3 anger. So we all are superior. There's nothing wrong with it. But can we make the shift? I walk in that meeting, I feel superior, I'm insecure, I'm afraid, but I still choose to author the result I want. I still stay on purpose. Even though I have all these feelings going on inside of me, I still author the result that I want. Responsibility is kind of the queen or the king of all the principles. And it's big. It's big to talk about. It's big to think about. Can we take responsibility for everything that goes on around us? So that's not being a victim. That's not blaming. That's not being angry because something happens to us. But it's choosing how we respond to things that happen to us and taking responsibility at all times for that response and what we create. Because all of our actions have reactions and have consequences. So can we take responsibility for when we consciously choose and when we unconsciously choose? That's true responsibility. So after thinking and after really contemplating and crying and being hurt and, taking some time, I decided to do more consulting. I decided to do more investing. I decided to try to help other people, especially entrepreneurs, to do what I did and not maybe make the same mistakes I did, make their own mistakes, create their own hurts. And Gertrude and I, we looked at how can we give back to our communities. We looked at giving back to the Foundation for the Realization of Human Potential, where we had done so much work together. We had done couples work and individual work. Both of our children were kind of raised in the methodology. My mom even did coaching there. We looked at our universities. We looked at Wake Forest, where both girls went, and how could we give back? How could we make a difference to the next generation and take responsibility, maybe one person at a time, for creating a more responsible, a more nourishing, a more beautiful world. So it was a big transition for me, building something that I loved and then having all those feelings and then looking at how is my purpose evolving. Still focused on, I think, maximizing my potential, but what was next for my potential and how could I have a greater impact on the world? So when you think about authorship, actually, I'm going to become an author. Finishing up a book. It's going to be about life as sales. And it's going to be about my journey and my growth as a salesperson, a business person, and just a person. And I'm doing this, season 3, I'm starting a newsletter. So there's a lot of things that I'm doing that are kind of my next evolution. And honestly, who knows what's after that? I do think it continues to evolve. And people ask me all the time, why aren't you on the golf course every day? Why aren't you just sitting on a beach getting a tan? It's just not me. I want to make a difference. I want to fulfill a purpose. I'm taking responsibility for my gifts. So to me, maximizing my potential feels like being used, using myself up, being used for a good purpose, and giving back what I've been given. I feel very grateful and very blessed, and I want to give that back and take responsibility for sharing that. Between now and the next episode, see if you can be aware of your superiority, how you come off to other people, where you've actually developed great skills, but how are you using them? Are you using them to author your life? Are you taking responsibility for everything that goes on around you? Big task, but see if you can be aware. Until next time, love lionheartedly. This is the true joy in life, being used for a purpose, recognized by yourself as a mighty one. The being a force of nature rather than a feverish, selfish cloud of ailments and grievances, complaining that the world will not devote itself to making you happy. I am of the opinion that life belongs to the whole community, and as long as I live, it is my privilege to do what I can. I want to be thoroughly used up when I die. For the harder I work, the more I live. I rejoice in life for its own sake. Life is no brief candle to me. It is a sort of splendid torch which I've got a hold of for the moment, and I want to make it burn as brightly as possible before handing it on to future generations. George Bernard Shaw. This would be my favorite season just because I think, because of the model. Like, this would be my favorite. Because of the model.
Yeah, that was perfect.
13, 12.
It's never perfect.
Yeah.
You have to build me up. I'm the talent. Please build me up.
Your ego is fragile.
Fragile.
Yeah, I agree.
100% fragile.
I'm
Hard
not
pass.
with you.
Hard pass. Hard pass. Pitch
I should've
Perfect.
honestly asked
Pitch
you. You
Perfect
should've roasted me.
reference.
Oh my God,
Do you know
you're right.
Pitch Perfect reference?